Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports. Friday, February 25th. Happy Friday to everyone out there. Terrible what's going on in Ukraine right now. Please pray for Ukraine and support non-war. And let's just hope everything gets resolved and, stop the fighting. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports, and before we get into it, make sure you hit subscribe, like, and notification. Now, big night in the NBA tonight. Big night in the NBA. You got the 76ers. Now, the 76ers are excited. Why are they excited? Because, I'll tell you why. Because we have the debut of James Harden tonight. Now, you got Joel Embiid saying, it shouldn't be hard. It should be an easy transition for James Harden. We're going to have to see if he's correct on that prediction. But I don't think it's going to be too easy. I think it's going to be somewhat of an adjustment. Because, remember, James Harden played with Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard was athletic back then, and that really didn't work out. Like, they did some damage, but, you know what I mean? That really didn't work out. But James Harden knows it's on the ladder of his career right now. He's a little bit past his prime. He's still in it, right? But, the last 2 years have been a wash for him. James Harden's standards, but make sure you watch tonight's games, and especially the 76ers, and make sure you check out this clip because you're gonna want to see this. This is something to watch. Can the 76ers figure out how to be utterly dominant with James Harden?
I just knew, for a very long time, this was a perfect fit. Just from top to bottom, it made sense. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. Joe is playing the best he's ever played. As far as me, I got to make sure I'm great, I'm healthy.
We've heard the word championship being thrown around here.
Hell yeah.
According to reports, James Harden may be on the court with the Philadelphia 76ers as early as tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. James Harden's hamstring is healed, America. At least it better be. His body better be 100% because no one in the NBA has more on his shoulders than James Harden. No one has more pressure to produce this postseason than James Harden. And that's what I just finished saying about Kyrie. Nobody's got more pressure than James Harden. That's what happens when you orchestrate your way out of two franchises in less than 13 months. And the Sixers did give up a lot to get Harden, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, first-round picks, not to mention Ben Simmons. No matter how flawed he may be, he's still Ben Simmons. Remember that tweet Joel Embiid put out after the Sixers finally got rid of Simmons? That one with the well-dressed man stopping by at his hater's funeral? Remember that? It was a good tweet, y'all. A great tweet, actually. Don't get it twisted. If this Sixers team falls short, if they feel even reach the conference finals again, if James Harden, God forbid, shrinks in the postseason, like many believe he will, not me, but a lot of people, wasting Joel Embiid's MVP type season, it will be time for the Sixers' funeral because their championship window will officially be closed as far as I'm concerned.
13 months later, are you kidding me? It's exactly what is happening tonight. The 2018 League MVP, future Hall of Famer, debuting for the Sixers tonight in Philly. They're actually in Minnesota for an 8 p.m. tip-off. 2 weeks after his request to be traded from Brooklyn was granted. So his new teammate, his new head coach, Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers, respectively, they talked earlier today about James Harden and what it's going to take to build this chemistry. Listen.
Chemistry is always great before you play your first game. It's never a problem, but it's been good. I mean, I don't think chemistry is going to be an issue as far as getting along. Chemistry on the floor, we'll have to see how that all works out. I'm not that concerned by it, but there's two types of chemistry, and the one on the floor is going to be the one that matters the most.
You see all the stories that are out there and all that stuff, and obviously, we all see it. I mean, it's completely different than, what you see out there. He's a great person, great personality, always smiling, fun to be around. Everything really, his presence on the team and on the floor, has really changed a lot since he got here. So I'm just excited for that to continue on the court, and I think he's going to help us a lot.
That is certainly the hope as we bring in our NBA writer, Tim Bontemps, live from Minneapolis. All right, Tim, the Sixers team, they got to acclimate themselves to one of the league's biggest, most ball-dominant stars over their final 24 regular season games. So this has to happen quickly, as we heard Doc talk about the chemistry. What are they saying, Doc and his teammates, about Harden and trying to adjust to each other so quickly?
Well, as you said, Sage, this is a 24-game sprint to the finish, as Doc Rivers put it this morning. And obviously the Sixers have a lot of work to do if they want to get this team up to being a championship-caliber group going into the postseason, especially what's going to be a brutal Eastern Conference playoffs. But, look, you've got to remember, the Philadelphia 76ers have been sitting in this situation waiting for clarity on what was going to happen with Ben Simmons since last summer, let alone the start of the season. So really, this sort of feels like Christmas morning for the Sixers. They wake up and they get to unwrap their present, and their present is, as you said, one of the best and most ball-dominant players in the NBA in James Harden. And obviously it's going to take a lot of work to get him and Joel Embiid on the same page. And while Joel couldn't help but make a little bit of a reference to the fact that James Harden is a better shooter than Ben Simmons, saying we're not talking about a guy that's limited offensively, he did say that he expects this partnership to be smooth and that these guys are going to be able to fit together on the court and that they're both aligned in their goal, which is to get this team back to the NBA Finals. So really more than anything else, the Sixers are excited to finally see what these two guys are going to look like together on the floor here tonight in Minneapolis.
They remind me of the Bucks a little bit, just quietly sitting there in the third spot in the East, getting it done while everybody talks about the drama everywhere else. So we'll see what happens beginning tonight. By the way, you've got a really good piece right now on the pressure points to watch in Harden's debut and Philly's playoff push. That's on ESPN.com. Look forward to the game tonight, Tim. Thank you. By the way, the numbers with Harden, if you didn't know this, it has not been one of his best seasons. He's on pace for his fewest points per game average in over a decade and his lowest field goal percentage since his rookie season. That's how bad it was in Brooklyn. That's why he wanted out, although, hey, you got to look in the mirror sometimes too, right? His three-point percentage also would be the worst of his career. So now, what's at stake for James Harden as he starts over again in Philadelphia? Here's Stephen A. and First Take.
In Philadelphia, James Harden had better damn well help this team get to an NBA Finals, or he will forever be scarred. To now go to Philadelphia after forcing your way out of Houston, then Brooklyn, and to have Joel Embiid as your teammate, there is no question that, and considering what Daryl Morey gave up to get you, there is no question we take all of that into consideration, along with the overall greatness that we know James Harden to have, particularly with him being in Brooklyn last year and reverting to a true point guard where he's dancing on folks and creating shots for other people and averaging damn near a triple-double and being a top 2 candidate for league MVP honors before he messed up his hamstring later on in the regular season last year. All of those things taken into consideration, for you to be there with Joel Embiid and nothing less than an appearance in the NBA Finals will do.
James Harden could go out there and play his behind off. James Harden could go out there and average 30 points, 15 assists, 8 rebounds, and have a spectacular playoffs. But Tyrese Maxey might not show up. Danny Green might not be able to hit a shot. We can't blame that on James Harden. I think if he goes and just be the best version of James Harden, that's all we can ask. Like, you can't be held accountable for what other guys on your team do. Now, if he goes there and he stinks it up, then that's another story. But because this is a team sport, it's hard for me to just put that on him. And when we talk about his legacy and what he's already accomplished individually, because in your eyes, if it had to come down to it, Robert Ory would probably be the best player in the world.
Robert
Yeah, Rob.
Big shot, Bob.
7, right?
Yeah. Okay, how about this? Silver lining for some of the Harden struggles we've talked about. He likes debuts. He recorded at least 30 points and 12 assists in his debuts with both the Rockets and the Nets. 10 years apart, but hey, only 2 other players in history have had 30 and 10 in their debuts with the team, and Harden is the only one with 30 and 12. Let's see what happens tonight in Minnesota.
I'm curious to see how aggressive James Harden is going to be for us. Not his ball handling and facilitating, but I want to see, like, how many shot attempts is he going to get up? Like, is he going to try to come in with the mindset of, I don't want to burn bridges, I want to fit in, or he's going to come in and say, no, I'm establishing my presence right now and letting y'all know that, you know what I mean, it's me and Joel and B show. Like, I'm interested to see that, along with how many free throws are these guys going to shoot tonight. Like, we know that both of these guys are really great at getting to the free throw line. So I'm interested to see, like, could we be looking at a game where both of these guys could combine for like 35, 40 free throw attempts?
I mean,
tonight?
I mean, it's not a no from me. I mean, Zach's saying it might be a no from him. We'll see. Here's one thing I do know.
It's totally possible. Totally possible. It's just boring to watch free throws, but it's totally possible they could shoot 20 apiece in a game. I mean, you can't keep them off the line.
Well, here's one thing I will say, though. James Harden, he knows how to make debuts not boring at all, because he has a history of showing out in his debuts with new teams. Because get this, he played 44 minutes in his Rockets debut on Halloween. That was back in 2012. He racked up 37 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals in a double-digit win over the Pistons. So then fast forward to January of 2021, Harden again logged 40 minutes in a home win over the Orlando Magic. I was in the building for that one. Recorded a triple-double, 32, 14, and 12. He became the first player in NBA history to record a 30-point triple-double in his debut with a new team. So here are James Harden's prop bets for his debut with Philly. Perk, get your notebook out. This is according to Caesar Sportsbook. Has him at around 21 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds tonight. Or you can bet that he gets a triple-double at plus 650.
So there you go. Basically, you got 76ers visiting Minnesota tonight. One hell of a debut for James Harden to happen tonight against Minnesota. Minnesota just came off, I think, one of their better performances. D'Angelo Russell had 37 points last night. But no, it's all eyes are going to be on James Harden tonight. Make sure you guys check that out. My question to you guys is it going to be easy transition for James Harden, or is this thing going to work? I think it is. It's just going to take a bit of a time and, a bit of a sacrifice on James Harden's part, because Joel Embiid is playing phenomenal. You don't want to ruin that. And so, therefore, James Harden's got to, I guess you could say know his role. Not saying it's The Rock, but I'm saying know his role on the team. Do what is necessary for the team win, not the individual play, like we're accustomed for him to do in Houston. And we all know that he can pull off like freaking 30, 40 a night non-stop. Just because these past 2 years his numbers have dipped, that's only because he was playing with KD and Kyrie, and he predominantly did not have the ball at the perimeter. He had to share it, but Joel Embiid is down low, so that's the only thing I'm guessing. But I want to hear from you guys. Will this thing work with James Harden tonight? Make sure you guys check it out. Give me predictions on the comment section on how many points he will get tonight, and how far they'll go. Like, are they better with James Harden? Of course they are, but like I said, is this thing gonna work? Is this thing gonna work, or was this a complete and utter waste of time of a trade? You tell me. Jag from Jaggy Sports.